Hello, this is Christian. In this video, I'm going to talk about composition versus inheritance in Python. Well, this doesn't apply only to Python, pretty much applies to any object-oriented programming languages. So here are five classes, and these diagrams here are called UML diagrams, or I think it stands for Unified Model Language Diagrams. These are very common in database design, object-oriented programming designs, and many other industries as well. Now, I'm just going to go over what these mean for just a little bit. So this box here, the first solid box on the top is the name of the class or the entity. Or if you think in terms of database systems, this would be the name of the table, like the person table, or in this case, the person class. The next box over this row here with the minus name, that means these are all data fields, or we call these attributes, or sometimes just properties of this class. So you see the minus and plus sign there. The minus sign means it's a private field or private data, and the plus sign means it's public. Okay, and as you can remember, in Python there is no private data. I mean, you can kind of make it look as if they are private, but they actually are not private. And that's probably one of the major distinctions between Python and most other languages, is you don't have privacy, I guess, in Python. But anyway, so these just the plus and minus is just to denote that they are private and public data. Then the third box down here are your methods, okay, your functions, right? So methods down here, your data fields, the name of the class. They look all the same here. Okay. This is not a complete list, by the way. Usually, if you were to do this in more detail, you will actually specify the data type as well. The name will be string, and the get name and set name would be the data type return will be a void or a string, and so forth. But this is pretty generic, so it's understood. So I have 5 classes, and so let's talk about inheritance first. Inheritance is when one class inherits from another class. One class belongs to another class, I guess. In this example here, we have the person and the student class. Okay, they are related somehow. If you look at these two classes, you see that they're both related to people, right? So the person class it's a much broader class, whereas a student is more specific. So we can say that a student is a person. A person can be a student, but a person may not be a student, right? A person can be a teacher. So it's not true the other way around, but it's always true when we go from student to person. A student is always a person, right? So that's true. So then we form the inheritance between student and person. And so the person in this case will be considered as the parent class, or we call this the base class or the super class. And the student would then be the child class or the subclass. And we do that by drawing arrows towards these two classes here. So here's the arrow, and I'm going to draw the correct position is starting from the student, points to the parent. Okay, it must have the arrow going this way to show that a student is inheriting the parent class of person. So this forms what's called an inheritance, and also forms a really common or very unique type of relationship called is-a relationship. Okay, because a student is a person. A person is not a student. I mean it's not guaranteed, right? So that's what it means. So inheritance always forms this is-a relationship. Okay. That means everything the person has, student owns all of them, plus whatever the student has, like the course, for example. Okay. So again, another example would be school and district, right? A district is much more broader than a school, so a school belongs to a district. So we can say school is really not a district, right? So we wouldn't say that is a district. It's not. So you probably say, district has schools, and that forms the basis of what's called composition. So I'll show you that here. And same thing here as well. Student and course, right? They have some kind of relationship. So we'll say that, a student has a course or takes a course, but a course cannot have a student, right? I mean, it can. It depends how you look at it, but we want to say that a student, has a course, and then or takes a course. Really, you have like school has students and school has course, right? But so the composition is when one class uses another class as an object or object in the data field. I'm showing you here the student has a course. As you can see, the course data field here is going to be pointing to this course over here because the course has all the properties for that particular course. And so when we draw this type of relationship, we use this arrow with the, this diamond shape here. So I'm going to go, the student, okay, has a course and uses a diamond shape at the end here. Okay, so this forms a composition, and from this excuse me, this very special relationship called has a relationship. Okay, depends how you read it. If you're reading from the student's perspective, then you say student has a course. Okay, but if you read it from the I'm going to put an arrow here so it goes in that direction. If you're reading from the other direction, from the class to the course to student, then you have what's called a part of relationship. Okay, so so it depends how you look at it, but usually composition forms this has a relationship. They're not really related, and they're not sharing anything at all. Okay, it's just that it's composed of a course. Okay, so the same is true for this class here, right? The school is composed of student, right? And it's also true to say that the school is also composed of I put it here of classes. So it has both student and course. I should have put it down here. Another one should say course. Okay, it has, of course, has faculty too and many others. So it forms that relationship. Again, this is the composition. Same thing here. This is a composition. You can see how important they are in programming. So the district then will have something similar. Again, the district will have, I want to put it here so we can it's kind of hard to see here, but let me just undo this. So district also has a school. So this is also a composition. Okay, so here we have a couple of types of relationships, but then you have an inheritance, and we'll talk about inheritance next time. But compositions, you can see how important they are in programming. So these two concepts are very important to understand. And now, once you see this diagram, let's go into the code in Python and see how you can actually put these into code. So I'm going to head over here to Python. And in here, I created three classes, 3 files. One's called the main. We'll start here eventually. But I have here the student class. Okay, so it's a class called student, has a constructor that takes 3 fields, the student ID, name, and grade. And I would assign those directly to these 3 fields down here. So these are called properties or attributes of the student. And then I have my setters and getters down here. Okay, just to set and get data. Those are very standard. And so they're all public, right? And based on Python's notation, the underscore here is private data. So we don't want to use these directly in the code. We want to call the functions setters and getters to get those information out. Okay, so over here, likewise, I have a course file that has a course class. Looks very similar. Has 3 are 4 parameters. One's the self, the object which is required, the course ID, course title, and course grade. Those will be assigned to these fields down here, and I have my setters and getters as well. Okay, so they're completely separate classes. Okay, so now this is where composition comes in. So remember the rule? Composition says it must be a data field. That means it must belong to the self. Okay, so I have ID, name, and grade. I'm going to create a composition here. So this is done by saying self dot underscore. I'm going to call a course is equal to a course object. So this is composition because I'm using the course class as an object as a data field. And as you can see, it's not visible because I have to import that, right? So it's not found. That means in this class, way up here in line 1, I'm going to say from the course, import the course class. So import that in here. Okay, so if you look at the course, you see that the constructor requires 3 fields, the ID, title, and course grade. That means when I instantiate an object like student, it's going to go ahead and assign this data along with the course. If I don't have information, it's going to fail. Okay, we have a problem here. So I have to pass those data to it, which means when I inst the student object, I have to pass those data to the student constructor. So I'm going to add here those 3 fields. And I'll call these just CID for the course ID, CTitle, and CGrade. Okay, and I'll pass these 3 fields to the course constructor. So now everything is satisfied. Okay, and then this is a field. So in order to access its data, I must have a method to get to that course class. So likewise, I can go down here and create another setter and getter for that, just like a data field. I'll say set course, and then I'm going to pass a course here. So a course here would be an object, right? A course, I'm not just the name of the course, but it has everything in here. Okay, so when I set the course, I would just set course equal to that, or maybe if I want to if I want to replace it, I would do that because it's the same object, so it should override that. If you want to, usually you have a course. A student takes a couple of courses, so this would be a list of courses. But for now, for simplicity's sake, we'll just have one course. And then down here, just say self course equals the course. So I set my course. And then same thing down here. To get the course back, I'm just going to say get course, and then just the self, and return self underscore course. Okay, so my setters and getters are all set, and this should be good to go. Okay, so let me save this. Now I'm going to go to the main program and put all these together. So import. So from the student, import student class. From the course file or module, import the course class. And I may not need this, but just in case, okay? When I create a new course, I need to create an object out of this course class. So now let's go ahead and create the main function, main program down here, and then in the main, I'm going to go and make sure I don't forget in down here to invoke it. Okay, we'll say here main start program here. So in the main function, I'm going to create a student. So you can say student equals student constructor. You see all these fields right here, right? The self is given. You're not going to supply anything there, but ID, name, and grade. So I can just say ID would be 1111 for student ID. The name would be Jill. And then the grade would be freshman. The course ID, let's just say that py101. Oops, let's put a string. Py Python 101. The ID, the title will be Python 101, and then the grade received for this course is an A. Okay, so that is the constructor. It satisfied all these fields in the student constructor here. So when I instantiate a student, all the data will be set to these three fields here. The three book or course IDs or data will be set to the course in here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and save this, and then I'm going to write a print statement, right? So I'm going to print them out because we need to print those data out. So we'll say, instead of writing here, I'm going to write a function to print them out. So let's go up here and create a function, print info, and then I'm going to pass the student object to it. So I'm going to put here again, just put student. And then we'll just basically call that function print info and pass the student object to it. Okay, so here we're going to do some fun in here, right? So I'm going to print the student name. So put here student, let's put ID first, and I'll pass in the student dot get ID, right? There should be one for that. I'm just going to copy this a couple of times. I think you press Control Alt down. Control Alt down on my computer. So I have a student name, ID, student name. This is the student grade, meaning like grade level. And this would be the course ID, course title, and then we have the course grade. I'll put it, yeah, for that course only. So the student ID, student name, student get grade. Okay, now the courses are a little bit tricky. Notice that in the course, if you go back to the student, you can't just like go directly to the course and get the ID. I mean, in other words, I can't do a course and get ID like that. Okay, actually get course ID, course title, and so on. Remember, these are this is a composition. That means the course is a part of the student, right? Students composed of this. So that means you have to go through the student object, go through one of these functions. And the function that you need to go through is not the set, because the set does not return data. You want to go through the get course function. Get course here will return the student object self.course. It will return this course to access. So from here, you can then access each data members in here. Okay, let me say that again. So student has the course, points to the course class. To get to this course through the student class, you must go to the student object dot the get course function for this, which is the get course, and then from there you can say get these data here. Okay, so then let's go and do that here. So now I need to go to the student dot get course function, and then dot, and if I type in control space bar, you will see that these are the methods or the functions in the course class, right? They're now visible. I can use them. These are the course, get course ID, get course title, and so on. Everything in the course plus all the other data as well. Like these are global class functions, part of the object class, which all objects inherit from, by the way. And plus its own data down here, you have like the course grade and so on. These are type. The A means attributes, and they are private. The underscore tells us that, right? So we should access these functions here. So I'm going to get the course ID to get that one, and this one be similar. Student.get course, go through the course function, and then get title. Okay, and then here will be student.get course function that get grade. Actually, I call it course grade. I want to make sure I have it right. It should be course title. Okay, so you have to go through like two steps here, through the student object, through its function that access the course class, and then get its specific functions in there. All right, and if there are no syntax errors, we should be able to print these information back to the console. So it just show here I did not use course at all, so we'll see if we can use that in a minute here. So let's save that and run the application from here. So I have an error here. It says get ID is not a part of the student. That's line 21 in the main line 10. So right here, this is not ID. Oh, I'll probably have it wrong function. Get student ID is okay. So it's get student ID. Okay, let's try again and clear my console over here, and let's run. So here we go. The student ID, Jill, freshman, the course ID, course title, and course grade. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now, if you want to modify these data, you can, and you would do that by if you want to add a course or replace the whole course, because once you instantiate a student, you cannot go back and reinstantiate it again, right? I mean, if you do that, you can wipe out the existing student and then replace it again. But if you just want to add or replace this course with another course, then you can go through the set course function, right? The set course here. And it's a course, so remember, it's a composition. You want to make sure it has the same data type to match this. So that means in the main program, I would have to do a little bit of work. That means I have to go and create a course equals the course, which is why I imported the course class up here because of this example here. And I want to say now the course is going to be Java, and well, the course ID first, right? Just say 555. Let's see. Well, yeah. Let's put here JV 202. That's the course ID. Course name is Java 1, and then the grade would be, let's just say, got A plus or B plus for this course. Okay, you got the course object. Now you can pass to the student object through the set course method. So you can say student now set course, and if you type the control spacebar, it tells you that it has to be a course object. So you put that course there, and then if I print that again down here, we'll put another print statement just to print the extra space. Okay, and then I'll print that again. The second time around, it should have a different course information. So let me clear my screen over here, and then click play. So here we go. Okay, the same student, Jill, freshman, the first course. I modify my course. I replace that with the new course. I pass that to the set course function, and then now my course information has now been changed to Java 1. Okay, so this is an example of a composition in Python. Remember again that when you create a composition, you access its data from through the course, or that whatever that class is, through the getter function. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is, what if I just want to modify the course name, course title, or course ID, or course grade without replacing the whole course? Right, you can do that also, of course. Here we replace the entire course with a new course with Java 2. Let's just say that I want to go back and change the grade because it was not a B+. It was supposed to be an A+. I made a mistake. So then you can go and change that, right? So I'm going to go down here, make some room down here. And you can just change it, go directly to same idea, get course dot set and getter through that function here. So I'm going to just basically go here. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. It's 20. I would say student dot get course dot set grade, and the grade is going to be an A+. And that's it, right? You can go and change its data through the setters and getters through this get course function of the student class. So now, if I print this again, it should not be changed to an A+. So we go again. Set course grade. If you don't remember, again, just use you type the dot. If it doesn't show up, press Control Spacebar, and it will list all the visible functions, so you remember. So save that again, clear my screen over here, and run. Here we go. The first course is Python 101. We changed to Java 1. We got the wrong grade. We go back and we modify that to set to A+. And here's now the grade is changed to A+. Okay, so you can see how useful this can be. Okay, if you don't have a composition, imagine you would have to list all of this information, right? All of these here to the student class. What if you have two courses, right? You see course 1, course 2, course 3, and so on. So instead of doing that, you can change this to have a list instead. So I can change it to say not course, but maybe courses. And then I would use that as a list. So you would have something like that. Now, this is a list of just one course because I did it this way. I could make it so that it's no courses, right? Once you do that, then you can still go here and change this to courses. It's now different because you have a list of courses. It's a list. So when you try to set the course, you will set not equal to, but you will use what's called the append, right? Append the course to it. You add that to the course this way, because it's add to the list. Now, when you get the course back, you need to specify, are you getting the entire list of the course? So if I change the courses, this way, I'm going to get all the courses back. So you can get all courses, or you can write another function down here and you can be very more specific, saying this function, it's just going to get a single course. So we can say get course, just singular, and then I'll pass here the courses of the index. Okay, so index here. And so I have to pass in here an index to get the course, right? And so that's how you return a single course. This returns a whole list of courses, and so on. So I have, when I create a student here, I added to the course just, I would probably don't even need this. Well, yeah, I do, because when I add the course, it's going to be in there already by default. Okay, so if I do that, then when you access these data, it'll be different, because now when you call the course, you have to specify in this example, will be a very specific course. So if it's just one course, I have to put the index of 0 here. Okay, index of 0 to get the course information. So now it and then my set courses will be different too. Well, I think that's fine. But when I set the course here, it'll be different. I have to again specify the index of 0 to change that grade. Okay, let's just say we change that to A minus. See if this works. Save that and clear my console. And I might have some errors. Yeah, because I missing one index. The index, yeah, I didn't specify index. So when I get the index over here, get the course. Actually, yeah, I don't put it here. Yeah, it's not correct, because I'm gonna pass the index to it. Get the course of the index of 0. That's what I'm saying. Get the first course. It should go in there instead. First index. Okay, so save that, and then let's try again. So here we go, same as before, right? Everything is working again. I have the first course, and then when I add the new course, when I add that course, all I'm doing is we just basically append that to the course. Or actually, once I append it, actually I have two courses now. I did not delete this course, which is why you see that the course is still Python and not Java. I did not print the second course because when I append, I did not remove the first course. I keep adding courses now. Okay, and which is something that maybe something you want, right? Add another course to that. So the grade here is going to be Java's grade and not Python. So if it's Java, that'll be index of 1 because Java is, we add another course. And if you don't know, you want to find out the course size first, how many courses you have, and then modify that. But we know it's Java, so we would do that. And when you print it out, well, you have to specify which course. I'm printing only the first course. In this case, it's Python. That's why you see the minus grade here, A minus, actually affects the Python grade because I initially put a 0 here. Okay, if I put a 1, then you wouldn't see it because we did not print 1, but index 1. Okay, so now I have a list of courses. And if you want to print all of them, well, this part right here, then you can put that into a loop, right? You can say for every course in the student, well, you can, student, student dot get course. Okay, and then you're going to print these out, course ID, and this will be the course get course. Well, I need to pass in a range, so let's just do differently. For I of student course, a range. Okay, range of the length of the student course. Yeah, something like that. And then I'm going to print each course. See if this works. Okay. And then, so index. Yeah, I need to put the index in here. Well, what was it? Get courses. Okay, I'm going to get the get courses, get all the courses. I should call this function instead because I'm going to get the whole list of all the courses, not just one. But when I print it out, I'm going to print just a single course. Okay, so you can do that, or you can do it differently. You can say get all the courses. Let's see this one first. Save that, run, and so I have all my courses here, right? So here it is. The first print, Python, and the second time would be Python and Java, 2 courses. The third print down here, I changed A for Python. So A, Python, now A is minus for Python. Okay. So I'm using this range here. It may not be most efficient, but that's because I'm passing the index. If I want to do it differently, then you can use the actual courses in here. But I don't want to get any more complicated than this. So at least I want to show you that now you can create a list of courses for a student using as a composition and use that as a course. As you can see, it gets complicated when we deal with like dictionaries or objects and JSON data, right? But it becomes very powerful. You can see I only changed a couple of lines in my code, and I'm able to generate this many information. I can keep adding to this list here, right? Without having to worry about, creating new course variables in here. So that's very powerful. So this is composition, and this is one of the many examples how compositions can be very important. You can keep going because classes course can have other information too. Maybe like the course has been taught by which instructor, right? So which room is it held? Which building is it in? So here you can see all these different classes can be all interconnected together, forming either a inheritance relationship or a composition. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, please do let me know. Thanks.